My face right now.
Of course.
Okay, so hello, hi. Big, big hi to everyone, those who are on Zoom, and all those who are joining from Facebook. I would love to get a feedback if my volume is fine, if my speed is okay, the way I'm speaking. So all those who are on Zoom live can just mention that. And I see Bhupesh saying perfect. Great, that's nice. That's really nice. Okay, all perfect. Badal also saying superb, superb. So we're all ready to go over here. So wherever you are, in Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, or out of country, let us all together take a nice deep breath in. Let us all breathe in now. Inhale and breathe out. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting that we allow our energies to settle down so that we can concentrate and listen. So let us take that breath one more time. Let us all, as one unit, physically we may be really far apart, but electrically we can converge, we can merge, we can come together. So one more time, let us all take a nice, deep, full, expansive breath in. Inhale. Out from the mouth we go. One last time with eyes closed if you haven't closed your eyes. So, get your feet planted perfectly balanced between left and right side on the ground. Get your back straightened up, aligned, upright. Eyes closed if you haven't already. Listen to all these sounds falling on your ears. Connect to the top of your head. Connect to the space behind your eyes, inside your head. And just travel down the way a drop of oil would travel down a string very smoothly. So let your attention travel down from the top of your head, behind your eyes, into your throat, into your heart. Connect with your heart. What all initial emotions exist as we begin? Any anxiety of how it will be? Any hurry? Let's move very fast. Yeah. Just let all emotions which may interfere with our learning, any doubt, curiosity, just connect with your heart, center of your heart. With eyes closed, balanced, and let us all take a nice deep breath in now. Inhale. Out from the mouth we go. Continue with eyes closed, coming down from your heart into your stomach area. and going down further from your stomach into your lower spine, base of your spine, root of your spine, and from there becoming aware of both your feet, soles of your feet, both your hands, palms of your hands, all the 5 fingers. From the base of your spine, becoming aware of both your feet, both your hands, top of the head, uniting completely with yourself. Uniting with this voice falling on your ears, and all the people, seen, unseen, who are around in this webinar, gathered with purpose, giving away their time to listen to something useful. So, with that and heightened awareness, little heightened awareness, continue to focus on your spine, hands, feet, and take a final deep breath in now. Inhale. Out from the mouth we go. Shh, shh, shh. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's join our palms. Feel them. Let's rub them. And let's rub them nice and hard. Taking the center of the palms to your face, in front of your eyes, and fingers on the forehead. Rubbing the face. Pressing the ears nice and hard. And running your hand to the upper back, your neck area, through your shoulders. And getting ready. Ready. Eyes open, close, eyes open, close. Once again, a nice high, a hearty high. Whoever is online and listening to this, the session is on freedom from diabetes, and it's a joy to continue doing this work. For those who don't know about the gravity of, or the extent of the work done till now, very quick. We have around 5,000 people who are completely free of tablets, diabetes medications, and more than 1,000 completely free of insulin. And some of them were taking even more than 100 units of insulin. Okay. So may the way those became free, may those who are listening right now also get deeper insights, and you become a walking, talking human being who's also free in some time, and may you inspire many more. So that's what the punchline is behind. May I be free, may you be free, and may we all be free. Freedom. Okay. So some of you may have attended our program earlier, some of you may be totally new. So even if you attended any program earlier, because the program keeps getting upgraded and a lot of new things keep coming up, there are a lot of newer insights that even old participants are going to take forth from today's session. Okay. So with that, let me get ready to share the PPT and the screen. Okay. Yeah. Just in case anybody doesn't know me, because there are full chances for that. My name is Dr. Pramod Tripathi, and I very, very happy, proud founder of this organization called as Freedom from Diabetes, which has been working for the last 5 years with diabetics, with hypertensives, with obese, with hypothyroid and high cholesterol patients to get them free. Okay, and we've realized over a period of time, freedom is within you, and that's what you're seeing on the slide. Uh, this is a slide of one of the programs in Mumbai. And a very quick introduction, not taking too much time. I'm a medical graduate from BJ in Pune and done a lot of courses to understand how human beings can really become free and fitter and younger and stronger. So yoga, Ayurveda, Reiki, pranic healing, Brahma Vidya, Vipassana, NLP, pre-evaluation co-counseling, past life regression, many of them. Some of them are certificate courses. And for the last, since 2000, which is almost 17 years, I've been traveling different countries on helping people become fitter and younger. So more than 100,000 people touched through physical programs in 10 countries, and a lot of senior people from different corporates, including Kotak, HDFC, other group companies. He has a short list of the corporate clients, and this is just to make you feel connected very fast to who I am, where I come from. Basically, besides all these qualifications, I'm a very, very strong learner about how the human body, mind, uh, emotions, beliefs, all of them really function. And how do I educate myself? How do I change myself? And how do I educate others and bring about transformation in them? So that's the whole space I'm in. Yeah, coming more in touch with what may be happening inside some of you. These are the beginners' questions. Whether really one becomes free of tablets or insulin, whether one really is able to sustain it, and is it very difficult or easy to do it? Okay, these are very, very common questions that people have. And yeah, my answer is it's pretty easy. It's not so difficult, and it's very much possible, of course, and it's very much sustainable. There are many of them who are free for the last 3 or 4 years, and there are hundreds of them who also cleared the glucose tolerance test. So that's the initial context of this work. And just for your curiosity, this work began in 2013 in a small batch and went on with very, very small batches in 2013, in March and April and June, and then the bigger batches started in December, and then 2014 we multiplied from 100 to a couple of hundreds, and then from 2015 onwards we've been usually getting people in 3 and 4 and 500s together. Okay, so
May I just disturb for a second?
yeah.
Can we enlarge this PowerPoint slide to maximum screen?
I can, but I will just.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you.
That's better. Okay. So this is how the history has been very quickly for those who are joining in now. Okay, I just wanted further clarity. And the base is very clear. The freedom is very much within all of us. Okay, great. Yeah, we are the people who have cleared glucose tolerance test last to last year. This is last year, and this year there's a big group of more than 50 people who are going to come on stage because they've cleared this difficult test, which involves 15 spoons of sugar. Okay, so that just to build the context and for you to connect. What do we do today? We've done almost 15 minutes of introduction with a short meditation. So we will look at these 3 dimensions. We'll look at diet, we'll look at exercise, we'll look at inner transformation, change of our habits and stress. Okay. It's very important that I thank people in the beginning, and first and foremost is of course Dr. Nandita Shah, who was the person who introduced me to veganism, and I'm so happy and proud to be a part of this Ahimsa Fest webinar right now. So in 2011, I came in contact with Dr. Nandita Shah, and that's when I kind of first heard that reversing diabetes is possible. And from there on, began a journey of exploring and reading and connecting. So there are 4 more doctors who I kind of really thank for having having me learn some very, very important basics. Of course, it's Dr. Bernard, who most of you may be knowing. Dr. Cousins is pretty interesting. Many people don't know Dr. Cousins, but the depth that he brings in is something really amazing. Very interesting book, Cure for Diabetes. And then there is Dr. Bruce Lipton, who doesn't talk much on diet and exercise, which Dr. Bernard and Cousins talk, but he talks on belief, the biology of belief, how our beliefs affect our chromosomes and our DNAs. And this is one person I really respect a lot, and that is Dr. David Hawkins. Very interesting book, Power versus Force, on the effect of stress on human behavior and human physiology. So how stress increases our sugar levels and many, many things, okay? So being with these doctors, and there are many others, Joel Furman, Dr. McDougall. In fact, Dr. Will Tuttle is coming over at Ahimsa, and he's a great guy, World Peace Diet. So there are too many of them. And try to take the best of everyone when it comes to diet, exercise, stress, and positivity. So that's what the whole program is all about. And here comes the main slide, okay, which I want everyone to really stare at, register, understand, because here is the main meat of my learnings from the last 5 years, 4 years, 4.5 years. So please look at the screen. Some of the reasons, in case if you attended any earlier programs, you may be already knowing. And yeah, there could be other reasons which you may be seeing for the first time. So we do want all our past participants, and there are more than 60,000 of them spread across the country and the world, to watch this webinar either on Zoom or on Facebook Live. Make notes and register all these 8 deeper causes. This is the heart of the entire program today. Okay, so everyone please make very, very close notes of this particular slide. And what I'll be doing is I'll be explaining each of the points in as much of depth as I can over the call right now, so that each one of you gets understanding, a deeper understanding of that. And once the causes are understood, then the solutions become easier to follow. Okay, so let's really understand the cause as well. So the first one is pretty well known, and Dr. Bernard has really popularized it big time. Fat interfering with insulin, creating insulin resistance. What I got to learn is it's not only insulin but also leptin, one of the hormone which, if doesn't function well, creates major havoc for thyroid, for BP, hypertension, for bones becoming weaker, and sweet cravings and inability to lose weight. So fat interferes with 2 hormones. Okay, one is insulin, second is leptin. Okay, we're going to explore both of them. Let's understand with the help of a simple slide, which is the next one. And what you see on this slide is a muscle cell, okay, a representation of a muscle cell. And if someone asks why a muscle cell has been chosen, then the answer is pretty simple. Muscles utilize almost, yeah, 80% of the glucose that's in the body. So I repeat, just give me a second. Sorry. So muscles store 80% glucose of the total glucose inside our body. So if we have to do anything with glucose, which is floating in the blood, and we all know diabetes is more glucose floating in the blood, then we definitely need to work at the level of the muscle. In fact, there is a principle called as the Pareto principle, which says that 80% of the problem happens because of 20% of the things. Okay, so if you get those 20% things fixed up, then 80% of your problems may vanish. Interestingly, muscle percentage in the body for most of the diabetics is around 20%. 20, 22, 23% is what I see. Ideally, for ladies, it should be 26%, and for men, around 32%. Now, that's on a particular scan called as a Karada scan. If the machine is different, then the percentage may vary. So, what is important is we understand muscles really well. And I'm going to go slow over here so that you understand all the dimensions, all the aspects about the muscle which play a big role in creating diabetes and also reversing it. Okay, and that's very, very important. So let's take a look at that. Now, I don't know if you're able to see my cursor going in a circle around over here. In case if you're able to see, then around the oval muscle, you see these locks, okay, which are receptors, and they are basically gateways on which insulin is getting attached. Insulin is getting attached, and insulin is like a key. It opens up the locks, and once the locks open up, then glucose, which is floating around in the blood, starts entering the muscle. Okay. Very simple arrangement to view right now on the screen, but very complex when it comes to connecting in the body, because there are not only 4 locks, there are 2,500 to 5,000 locks. So that's a big number. Okay, 2,500 to 5,000 locks on every muscle cell, and so many billion of muscle cells. So if we want to get this mechanism really right, then we need to have a very little fat inside the muscle cell. Now, let's understand fat in your context. Okay. So, let's say the best way to know whether you have more fat or not is to do a simple mathematical calculation in context to your body. So what you need to do is you need to measure your, kind of connect with your height in inches, okay, and then convert it into only inches, no feet. So let's say if you are, let's say I'm 5 feet 9 inches, okay. So 5 feet is 60 inches, and most of us are more than 5 feet. So 60 plus 9, that is 69 inches. So that's the height. Now you divide it by 2. Okay, you divide your height by 2. And the moment you divide your height by 2, for example, I get a number called 34.5. Okay. Those who are 5 feet 6 inches, for them it may be 66 divided by 2, which is 33. Okay. So those who are 5 feet 4, it will be 32. Those who are 5 feet 10, it will be 35, and stuff like that. Now what you do is you take both your hands, just warm up your hands. Let's do some exercise. Yeah, let's do some exercise. Warm up your hands. Do some dry rubbing. Rub your palm from behind. and rub your forearm from behind, and rub your arm and your shoulder from behind. Okay, rub your palm from inside, and rub your forearm and arm, and rub your armpit from inside. Okay, and do it with the opposite hand also. Just rub your right hand from behind and from front, and rub your armpits also and the shoulder also. I just feel good because of rubbing. You know, that's going to be our fifth point, stagnated lymph. Okay, we're going to come to that in a while. So once you rub your palms and your hands and your shoulders nicely, rub your palms even more. Take your palms onto your waist, onto your tummy. Okay, and on your tummy, just feel the waist and let your hands go to the side of your tummy, your side, you know. So just kind of take your arms from your tummy to the sides, okay? Okay, and drag from the sides to the center. Okay, no? Simple, you can see me. And ask your tummy, what's your size in inches? Discount. Okay, so your waist has a certain number in inches, okay? So let's say if it is more than what you did in terms of your division between your height divided by 2, okay, so let's say for me it is 34.5. So if my waist is more than 34.5, then I have more fat in my body. Very simple, okay? And that excess fat is not only on the waist, it's also inside the muscle cell. And that excess fat inside the muscle cell is gonna kind of, as Dr. Bernard says, chewing gum effect. Chewing gum effect. So the locks are going to get jammed from inside. And because the locks get jammed from inside, the key from outside cannot open it up. If the key cannot open it up, then the sugars start rising. Okay? If the sugars start rising, the body is going to do something as a compensation, which I'll come to you in a short while. But let's understand the first three causes a little fast, because some of you may be knowing them. I know some of you attended the earlier programs, so some of you may be knowing them. So first is the fat. Second is the acid or inflammation inside the system. Okay, now where is the acid going to come from? The acid or the inflammation is going to come from, one is your morning cup of tea and biscuit, be it Mari biscuit, Rusk biscuit, Patanjali oak peat biscuits, any kind of biscuits that you consume. All of them are going to be acidic. Tea is going to be acidic. Milk is going to be acidic. Okay. Then let's say if you move to your breakfast and if it's poha, upma, idli, dosa, anything which is refined sugar, it's like white rice, shooting up the sugars very fast, it's again going to get converted more or less into acid. It's going to create more inflammation inside the body. Then many of you are having wheat in the afternoon, your lunch and your dinner. And wheat which you're having is the American wheat. Okay. And the American wheat, which is basically Lokwan or Sihor or MP wheat, all of that is acidic. It creates more inflammation. Let's be clear of what inflammation means in context of the muscles. So the same edge where the receptors are joining, Dr. Rupa, you can give me a feedback on this in case the cursor which I'm moving is being visible or not on the...
Yes, it is very much.
It's very much visible. Good. So the cursor which is moving along the edge of the muscle cell, this particular area where if there is more acid, this is going to get inflamed. It will get swollen up. If it gets swollen up, the locks are not going to be able to open and close fast as they should. So the culprit will be tea, milk, refined white rice, American wheat, and then Ahimsa. So all the hinsa that we do in terms of having animal products. So many of you have egg omelets in the morning, or chicken or fish or any of the so-called non-vegetarian food items. So all of them are more acidic. Whatever comes from animals is acidic. Okay? Whatever comes from plants, largely, not everything, but many items are alkaline. Okay, and we'll be looking at that. Very important, because the moment inflammation comes down, your insulin functioning is going to work very, very fast, extremely fast. If time permits, I'll be also showing a video in a short while from now. So then, of course, there's a tea in the afternoon, and then let's say there's again night meal. All those who are having their night meal after 9 o'clock, okay, those who are eating their night meal after 9 o'clock, uh, they are again going to have an issue with more acid and inflammation, okay? And those who are sleeping after 11 o'clock at night, in those cases, there will be more acid and inflammation, okay? So, acid inflammation, in fact, I'm realizing more and more now, especially in the last 1 year, that it's kind of a little bit more important in many cases than even fat as a cause for increasing sugar levels. So at times when people become free of insulin in, let's say, 3 or 4 weeks, and some of them were taking more than 50 units for more than 5 or 10 years, and they wonder what happened. I mean, did I lose so much of fat in 3 or 4 weeks? And the answer is no. You don't lose so much of fat. Of course, you would lose some. Like in a residential program, of ours, we would have almost 80% people going off insulin in 8 days flat. So within 8 days, does so much of fat reduce? And the answer is no. It doesn't reduce so much. So what reduces is the inflammation, the acid in the body reducing. So we need to understand acid really well. So that's the second important cause, and I've given many, many reasons for that. Even let's say more anger, more emotional disturbances, all of them are also going to increase the acid in the body. So we need to watch out for acid and inflammation. More fat also is going to create more inflammation called para-inflammation because of secretion of certain factors. Okay. So the second cause. Third, very interestingly and very straightforward, which just hits the bull, I don't know where, it just hits the bullseye, okay, and that is, we'll change the screen. Let's look at this. Just 1 second. What was written on the screen was IGF, insulin-like growth factor. Okay, so insulin-like growth factor, IGF. IGF is a molecule which is there in all dairy products: milk, dahi, cheese, ghee, paneer, buttermilk, A1 milk, A2 milk, Jersey guy, Ghar ki guy, cow's milk, buffalo's milk. And we are talking from a lot of experience because I think statistically there might not be more than 1,000 cases free of insulin across the country, maybe the world, I'm not sure. But after meeting so many patients, educating so many of them, we find the role of IGF huge, huge. What this does, which is there in all the milk and dairy products and the biscuits and the bread, is that this gets stuck on the receptors from outside over here. And the moment it gets stuck, it's not going to allow the insulin to get touching the receptors. So the normal insulin or the external insulin will be bouncing off the receptors because this IGF molecule, which is there in dairy, has got stuck up over there. It is said that at times it takes 48 hours to 72 hours to get rid of animal products from the body. And it may be true for this also because what we've seen is the moment people stop milk and milk products, within a day, and for many of them within 2 or 3 days, the sugars start dropping pretty fast. Okay, and my hypothesis, of course, we need to prove it in the lab and really get confirmation because there are no big studies. We try to dig out, but there are no real big studies which prove this hypothesis. But it's been working. It's been working, and maybe a day will come when we can actually prove it scientifically. So you have to be very careful of these IGF molecules, because these are the most dangerous molecules. And the good news is the moment you remove them, you start reversing very, very fast. You really start uh, gaining a lot of momentum in your freedom journey. Okay. So these three causes are pretty common causes. I've been talking about them for a long time. Uh, what I want to do over here is, along with this, I just want to focus on the fifth cause, which is stagnated lymph. I'll come back to micronutrients in a short while, point number 4, but I want to look at stagnated lymph because this particular cause hasn't been described in great detail in my earlier programs. So lymph is, let's understand lymph, point number 5. So here is lymph. So you've got these red colored, what do you say, arterioles, which is small arteries, and they branch out into capillaries. Okay, so they're pushing in glucose, oxygen, and all the nutrients, positive nutrients from the blood into the tissues. They're doing that. And as the blood moves out, and you can see it in the arrows over here, as a part of the blood, the whole blood doesn't move out. The part of the nutrition, the blood moves out, it starts getting utilized. And the moment it's utilized, then the remaining blood is going to get pulled back into the venules, okay, and it's going to get pushed back into the heart for purification. So that's a normal process in the human body. Now, let's understand this a little bit deeper. What's happening inside the body is all these, let's say, arterioles, small capillaries, are taking the blood away and also bringing it back to the venules. Interestingly, this particular system is 90% efficient. What it means is 100% of the blood, or the parts of the blood which is moved out into the tissues, doesn't return back into the venules. So 90% it moves in, and 10% remains floating outside, which we, let's say, call as stagnated lymph, or stagnated blood. Now, this particular blood is going to get pulled back into the heart through these yellow colored capillaries called as the lymphatic capillaries. Now, mind you, the arteries have the benefit of the heart pressure, the blood pressure, to push the blood away from the heart. So they have that benefit. Veins have the benefit of valves. They've got these valves, and they kind of pull the blood gradually to the heart. Now, the lymph vessels don't have the pressure of the heart to pump the blood, or the valves really to push the blood back. Now, when do they function the best? They function the best when you compress them. I repeat, lymphatic capillaries function the best when you compress them. Now, how can you compress them? You can compress them from outside. So let's say if I press my hand really hard, my forearm really hard, and I kind of do a little bit of a massage, and you can do that as you listen to me. You're going to press your fingers nice and hard as you listen to me, and you press your palm and your wrist a little hard as you listen to me, and you keep pressing. And as you keep pressing into your forearm, as you keep going into your forearm and to your elbow, really pressing a little hard, okay, into your arm, going up into the shoulder. Press your shoulder nice and hard. Just press it a little hard. Okay, press your shoulder a little hard. Okay, all right. And you can also maybe try beating it up. So let's start beating up from the shoulder. So let's beat up the shoulder, okay, and come back from the shoulder down onto the back of the elbow, back of the arm, go onto the back of the wrist and back of the what do you say, palm and the fingers, and turn and beat on the inside of the fingers, inside of the palm, deep, deep, push really deep, okay, with the help of your knuckles, really push hard into your, what do you say, wrist and your palm, and push deep into your uh, wrist, push very hard into your forearm, front side, and inside the. And most important is your armpit. Beat up inside your armpit very hard. Beat up inside your armpit. Okay, really hard. Beat up, beat up, beat up, beat up. Okay. So beat up into your armpit really hard. Okay. Let's open up our palms. Maybe this hand is paining. So you open up the mouth and say, diggy, 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 diggy. Ha! He, who. Many of our past participants are used to this madness. In case if you're new, just allow yourself to play with whatever I'm taking you through. And as you listen to me, allow a part of your mind to focus on the hand which you pressed, compressed, and beat up. Just try and taste it, feel it. Notice how it experiences, okay? How you experience it. And you might notice that, yeah, it may be a little painful, or maybe a little lighter, or it may be maybe some tingling, little tingling inside and outside the hand, inside the fingers, palm maybe. So there's some energy movement happening, and of course, blood circulation would have increased because you've beaten it up. Try and compare with the left and the right. Just feel it from inside. Maybe close your eyes if you like. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath in, out from the mouth. You go and feel your left shoulder and left arm and left forearm and left wrist and left palm. And try to compare with the right side and notice the difference, if any. Just notice the difference, if any. There are chances that the left hand may have maybe feeling a little lighter. You can feel more blood circulating inside it. Okay, more movement happening. Okay, and yeah. Oh, I need to check whether you were to see me, Dr. Rupa. Just checking with you. I was showing this on the screen, this movement and beating up, but I'm not sure whether it's visible to everyone. So if you could just come online and just confirm, affirm that yes, it was visible. If you're around. Are you around, Dr. Rupa? Oh, maybe the host has just stepped out, or she's around. Fair enough. Can't hear here as of now. So, yeah. What I was saying is stagnated lymph is something very, very interesting. Okay. Yeah, I see some things in the chat. Visible, visible. Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks. Okay, good. Good. So stagnated lymph, which is stuck up blood floating around over here, can again increase acid because it's basically toxic. Okay. And because it's toxic, it's containing all the toxins, not the healthy substances. Those things are going to get creating more inflammation on the way. So we go back to our muscle cell. So in this muscle cell around the edge, there will be more inflammation in case your lymph circulation is not really good. And one of my favorite things is to talk about walking as an exercise, and everybody knows about it. Most of the diabetics program themselves to walk every day. They think walking is the best exercise. Yeah, it could be for maybe maintaining or controlling, but not the best for reversing. Because walking is going to create movement basically in the lower half of the body, a little bit in the shoulders and the arms. It may not cause deep compression because you're not going against gravity. So your muscles are not going to get strengthened that much. Your muscles are not going to get compressed that much. So you can compress the muscles two ways. One is from outside, as I said, in terms of pressing or hitting. Okay, that's one way in which we compress. Second is from inside. Let's say you get hold of let's say, yeah, this is my water bottle. But let's say if this water bottle is a dumbbell, and if you do, let's say, a bicep, okay, or let's say if you do a shoulder, okay, if you do a shoulder press, uh, now that's when there's going to be deep compression, or let's say deeper compression in the muscle, or squeezing in the muscle. So you can squeeze the muscle from outside by exercises or acupressure, or you can apply deep compression from inside by the help of some weights or resistance bands. So all those who are from the earlier batches, I want to share with you that we are doing a lot of emphasis on resistance bands, TheraBands now. And going through that and strengthening the muscle is really being very, very useful, because as I began the talk by saying that 80% of the sugar, okay, is inside the muscle. If you strengthen the muscle by even 2% point, you've got a friend who's working 2% more throughout the day. In fact, day and night is going to be working. So you've got a friend who's working for 24 hours. So 2% into 24, which is 48, whatever, percentage points more you would be utilizing fat and glucose, because the muscles need fat or glucose 24 hours a day. It's like a demon, Rakshas, kuch to khana do, continuously food needs to be given to the muscles, okay? That's why working with the muscles, which is in a way point number 6, we are kind of jumping from 5 to 6, which is okay. Lack of strength and stamina becomes a very, very important part. And I repeat, men need to have that muscle percentage above 32%, and ladies to keep it around 26% or more. If it's less, you're not burning enough fat or enough glucose throughout the day, which you can if you just increase that muscle percentage point. So what can you do? Instead of walking, you can do a little bit of climbing, which is a pretty famous exercise. Most of the earlier batches know it. But just to bring in the clarity, 2 hours after the meal, okay, for 10 minutes, 10 steps. So if you climb up and down 10 steps, okay, just 10 steps, and 2 hours, maybe 1 hour 45 minutes is better, but let's say around 2 hours after a meal, just you go up and down 10 steps for 10 minutes. You might be shocked to notice the change in your sugar levels. If you measure it on a glucometer, before and after, people have experienced a reduction of anywhere between 20 to 30 points to even 100 or even more points within 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So that's how powerful the body functions. And the reason I realized was, when you're working against gravity, then after a certain limit, the muscles directly pull in the glucose. They don't even wait for insulin, because there's a big need for glucose. So they just directly, they just kind of pull in the glucose without the insulin. And that's the reason why the sugars drop pretty fast when you do work against gravity versus just walking, which is with gravity, okay? So stagnated lymph, which will not happen enough if you are just walking, okay, or not doing enough compression exercises from outside or inside, that could add on to the inflammation. And let's go back to the pictures. So let's revise a bit over here. So we have the fat inside, which is creating havoc. We've got the inflammation outside creating trouble. We've got the IGF, which is there in dairy, which we definitely need to get knocked off immediately and completely and permanently. We've got this stuck up blood around in lymphatic circulation and around it, which is again creating inflammation. So all these 4 points, which is point number 1, 2, 3, and 5, point number 1, 2, 3, and 5, all of these are, what they're doing is, I'm not audible. Satyajit is saying, interesting. So let me just move a little bit closer. Okay. Am I audible, Satyajit? Enlarge the screen of the PPD. Okay. Yeah, for others, am I audible? I can hear you. You're audible. I'm audible. Okay, fine. So largely I'm audible. Perfect. Good, so good enough. Great. So all these, yeah, thanks, I've got the feedback. Uh, all these 4 points are going to create insulin resistance. Okay, let's be with this. Insulin resistance. Fat from inside, inflammation from the top, IgF from the outside, and stuck up blood. Okay, all of this creating resistance. Now, what does the body do when there is resistance? What the body does is it secretes more insulin. It's going to secrete more insulin. And here comes the very, very important test, which many of the past participants are not doing because we didn't know about it maybe 8 months, 9 months back. The test is called as fasting insulin. I repeat, the test is called fasting insulin. It's not fasting sugar I'm talking about. I'm talking of fasting insulin. Now, ideally, it should be between 2.6 to 4 up to maximum 6. So let's say 2.6 to 6, but ideally up to 4. Of course, the lab range is going to tell you 2.6 to 25, but yeah, that's not relevant for us because the moment there is resistance, resistance can be in all non-diabetics also. In fact, we find that for most of the spouses, okay, husband or wife, or at times even the kids of the family of a diabetic, the fasting insulin score is on the higher side. Okay, so why is it on the higher side? Because of these 4 reasons: fat, acid, IGF molecules, and stagnated blood. All these 4 points come together and create resistance. So body contributes by creating more insulin. Now, how much more can it go? So I've seen 14 fasting insulin. I've seen 40. I've seen 60. I've seen 110. And you'll be shocked to know I've also seen 330 fasting insulin. I repeat, 330 fasting insulin. It was by a orthopedic doctor of Solapur, and we were shocked to see the number. And yeah, so that's the degree of resistance in the body, and that resistance, yeah, I'll repeat the ideal fasting range again. In fact, I can type it out for you. The ideal fasting range is 2.6 to 4. Ideal fasting range of insulin. Okay, yeah. I mean, little discount can be given up to 6, 5 or 6, but this is the ideal range. And the moments on the higher side, what it means is havoc inside the body. And I want to communicate this havoc to everyone, old and new participants. More insulin means, okay, more fat. Because all the excess insulin is going to pull and store more fat inside the body. All the excess insulin. तुम्ही दिसत नाही PPT लहान करा. Okay, ठीक आहे. Let's see. So I just got a message from the office that I'm not so visible. Can we make the PPT a little smaller? Yeah, maybe we can just do this. Is my size bigger now? Yeah. Very much visible, Doc. Okay, please proceed. Perfect. Okay. So fasting insulin is something we really need to track. Okay, because this, when it increases, it will increase your fat in the body because it pulls more fat. Secondly, this fasting insulin or overall more insulin in the body is going to go and do some crazy effects inside the liver. More insulin inside the body is going to affect the conversion of T4, T3, okay? And that is going to make your hypothyroid problem begin. If your TSH is more than 2.5, which is still in the normal zone up to 5, if it's more than 2.5, you can assume that there is some resistance happening in your body towards the thyroid conversion also. So more insulin will store more fat because the way it stores more Sugar, it also stores more fat. It will affect the thyroid conversion. It will also secrete more cholesterol, and that's a big thing. More cholesterol. So more cholesterol means more problem inside our system. It will also stimulate your sympathetic nervous system and create more hypertension. So the common link between hypertension, hyperthyroid, obesity, okay, and high cholesterol, besides diabetes, is high fasting insulin. If you can get your insulin scores normalized by reducing your fat, by reducing your acid, by removing the IGF, by working on the lymph, that reduction in the insulin levels itself will start benefiting you in many, many ways, including losing more fat, which is very important to reverse diabetes. Okay. So that's a very, very important insight I've received in the last 8 months. It also goes on to say, in fact, I was listening to one of the talks by Dr. Shrikant Jichkar, thanks to Dr. Jagannath Dikshitji, who is popularizing the twice-a-day meal plan. So I was listening to this talk by Dr. Shrikant Jichkar in 1999. He had given this talk, beautiful talk, which shares that there are many researches which have pointed out that the main reason for heart attack, okay, heart blockages, besides smoking, high cholesterol, and of course, high inflammation, is high fasting insulin. You know, the more, let's say, it can be a cause, it's rising because of other causes, but let's say a predictor, a greater predictor for heart blockages and heart attacks is high fasting insulin. And nowadays, even for cancer, because insulin is an anabolic hormone, more insulin means more cellular growth. And that's why there would be more cancer also happening inside your body. So when we are talking of becoming healthier in a, in a vegan way, in a Ahimsa way, we really stand to gain not only from freedom from diabetes, but from all the other diseases. And the common link everywhere can be and is fasting insulin, which we really need to track. And sadly, most of the doctors are not tracking it. And I wish to just make use this platform and many other platforms for more and more doctors to start making their patients to do fasting insulin test, and also HSCRP. That's also a very important test. So if you've not done your HSCRP, you should do that. HSCRP is a marker of inflammation. It gives a feel of how much inflammation could be there in your body. So these two tests are at the deep level telling us what's happening inside the body. And what you're doing in terms of when you're measuring your sugar levels or HbA1c is something very, very superficial. You're just watching the surface. So I'm repeating the test, which is HSCRP. I've typed it out. It's basically Hong Kong, Singapore, cat, rat, and parrot. So Hong Kong, Singapore, and cat, rat, and parrot. So that is HSCRP for you. Is highly sensitive. C-reactive protein. Ideally, it should be less than 1. Okay, ideally it should be less than 1. And if it's more, it means there is more inflammation. And if there is more inflammation, what it means is there's more insulin resistance. So do these two tests for sure. Fasting insulin and HSCRP, both of them are going to give you a lot of insights into what is happening inside your entire body. Okay? Great. So let's keep moving into understanding the causes for diabetes, and it's good to be thorough in our approach and understand everything very, very deeply. We've looked at fat, we looked at acid, IGF, micronutrition. Micronutrition, sorry, we didn't look at it. So let's look at micronutrition. Let's come back to our slide on the muscle cell. Now you see this small little itty bitty things called mitochondria. So mitochondrias are basically those places whereby you convert glucose into sugar. So these are the power reactors, atomic generators, energy generators, whereby you convert the glucose into, energy basically, glucose into energy. Now, glucose is chemical, it's a chemical, and energy is in a kinetic form, it's a non-chemical form. So converting a chemical into a kinetic form of energy, as my hand is moving, it's utilizing glucose, but it's converting the glucose into energy. So for that, you require a lot of small nutrients. And those small nutrients are called vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, antioxidants, enzymes. Okay, and many of them. In vitamins, what are crucial are vitamin B3, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, okay, vitamin C, D, and E. So all these 6 vitamins are pretty important. B3, B6, B12, C, D, E. In minerals, what are important are chromium, selenium, vanadium, magnesium, phosphorus, manganese, zinc, and to a certain extent iron, calcium also. But iron, calcium are a little bit major minerals. The micro ones are the ones which are deficient in many people. So minerals are required, enzymes are required. To understand enzymes, I would like you to just take a look around wherever you are seated. So just take a look at your room, wherever you are. And it has walls, it has a ceiling, it has got a floor. And what was required to make this room or this whole building was cement, was iron rods, was water, okay, bricks. So it required a lot of stuff. These are all macronutrients like carbohydrate, fats, and proteins, cement, bricks, iron, okay? But what was most important, if you were to be seated wherever you are seated safely, was labor, human beings. Human beings were the most important cofactor which brought the cement and the bricks and the water and the iron rods together. So what brings this, like the human body, which is there in front of you, inside you, outside you, people moving around. So what is it that which is breaking the cells, getting the cells reorganized, creating complex processes and reactions inside the body? And those are enzymes. And enzymes are there in live food and plant food, and even more in whole food which is plant-based, which is not cooked. The moment you cook the food, because many people come and they tell us, every day for lunch we have one green vegetable and one fruit vegetable, for bhaji, phale bhaji, and what we tell them is the moment you cook the greens, the chlorophyll also dies completely, and all the enzymes also die completely. Enzymes die completely when you cook the food. So we are all deficient in enzymes because most of the Indian food is, the way we consume it is more than 90% cooked. So we need to go for uncooked food, let's say 25 to 30% at least. And that will be in the form of smoothies, that will be in the form of chutneys, that will be in the form of salads, that will be in the form of nuts and seeds which are soaked, and sprouts. So these 6 forms can be really very, very useful. So I repeat, smoothies, I'll give the recipe in a short while, or in case of time is less, you can always go to the YouTube and type for the smoothie recipe of Freedom from Diabetes, you'll get it. Smoothie, chutneys, salads, nuts, especially they are soaked nuts, almonds, walnuts, seeds. We are consuming very little seeds, and seeds are the real storehouse of minerals. Okay, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, watermelon seeds, chia seeds. There's so many types, cucumber seeds, different types of seeds that are there available in this country. So make use of seeds. Ideally, I say one should start consuming at least 5 teaspoons of seeds every day. Minimum 5 teaspoons of seeds every day. You can put the seeds into your smoothie, or you can add it on your rotis, or in your dals or your salads and have them. Have 5 or 6 teaspoons of seeds. So the moment you start having live food, it'll be strong in enzymes, it'll be strong in minerals, it'll be strong in vitamins uh, and phytonutrients and colors, rainbow colored. You sit for a meal. I went to Sri Lanka to conduct some programs, and I realized they've got a cultural thing that your plate should have different colors, and they try to get those kind of food items, and the greens and the yellows and the reds and the white and whatever maximum possible. Of course, it's quite spicy food, but yeah, if you can get more colors into your food, you're going to have more phytonutrients and antioxidants, because the colors is coming from the food it's coming from the antioxidants and phytonutrients. Do we eat seeds raw or roasted? Yeah. I mean, largely raw. Bupesh is asking this, so largely raw, preferably soaked. Okay, preferably soaked, and of course you can also have some roasted ones. Also roast them a bit, not too much. Okay, especially flax seeds, because many people roast them, and sometimes they roast them too much. So don't roast too much. Okay, largely raw, and they taste pretty. Yeah. Can you please repeat the minerals again? So chromium, vanadium, selenium, zinc, magnesium, manganese, phosphorus. These are the major ones, okay, which are important. You don't have to go around searching for them. I know some people are very fanatic about the way they approach diet, so they'll search for food items exactly which has a lot of these things. But yeah, you could do that. But if you just go on a little bit more balanced plan, like almonds, walnuts, some variety of seeds, green smoothies, dal-based breakfast, and other things I just shared in a short while, some sprouts and breakfast. If you can just do a little change like this, you would be on good grounds to reverse your diabetes. Okay, so lack of micronutrients also very, very important cause for increasing the sugars indirectly, because if the micronutrients are less, the conversions of glucose to energy doesn't happen that quickly, with that speed, with that elegance. And what that starts doing is indirectly creates a buildup of the sugars. And interestingly, many diabetics are tired, which is a strange thing, because if you are a diabetic, then you have more sugar in your blood. And if you have more sugar in your blood, you should be pumping with energy the way, that old man in the Glucon-D advertisement, breaks the paper, comes out, and shows how much energy he has. So if there's more glucose in blood, might as well have more energy, but despite having more glucose in the blood in 200s and 250s and 300s, they are tired. And the reason they are tired is because the conversion is not so good. We need to have very good conversion of the glucose into energy, for which we need a lot of micronutrition. Let's come back to the causes. Now, I do want to spend some time on muscle strength, stamina, climbing up stairs. Those who are doing walking, do walking and jogging. Let's say after 5 minutes of walk, do 1 minute of jog. Time yourself, do 1 minute of jog, then again 1 minute of walk, 1 minute of jog. Keep repeating that in cycles. So stamina will increase, some strength will increase. And for actual increase of strength, weight training, twice or thrice a week, 30 minutes minimum, or TheraBands, resistance bands. Okay, you need to build up the muscle. Okay. So that kind of covers till point number 6. Point number 7 and 8 is something crucial. Point number 7 deals with stressful emotions, and especially if you had a prolonged stressful experience, let's say at work or in the family with, let's say, maybe somebody sick in the family or some family fights or separations happening, divorces happening, or anything with the kids happening in your life, or let's say tension with respect to targets or bosses. Sometimes you can have very corrosive bosses. So any kind of prolonged stress you may have experienced where you were into worry or anxiety or anger, it's been seen that the diabetes kind of comes just 6 months or a year after, or maybe immediately after that stressful experience. And the causes or the mechanism is pretty easy to understand. The mechanism is again linked to the IGF molecules. So kind of the cortisol, adrenaline gets stuck up over here where insulin should get stuck up, and it raises the sugars. And there's exhaustion of pancreas in the process. And once you're left with less than 30% pancreas active, that's when you really are not able to manage the high sugars and you become a diabetic. So once you're a diabetic, it is said that you can never reverse diabetes. So we've really played around with that big time, and we've got a great track record where people have taken 15 spoons of sugar after they were on tablets for 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years, some of them. And not all of them, but on an average, I see anything between 25 to 30%. Sometimes the luck is good, maybe 35% of people, if their HbA1c is good, let's say below 6.1 after stopping tablets and insulin, almost 20, 25, 30% of them clear glucose tolerance test. Okay. Now you can't clear the glucose tolerance test unless and until at least 30% of your pancreas is intact. I mean, your beta cells are intact. So yeah, diabetes does create some damage. Some of the cells, your beta cells will be completely scarred and dead. They cannot be rejuvenated into healthy cells. I think another hypothesis goes that at least 50% damage should be there. So then the sugars start rising. So I feel sometimes the game is between 30% and 50% of the beta cells. So if you're in between that, the way you can live your entire life on one kidney, you can live your entire life on those percentage of cells. And of course, some people are on external insulin, and when they come with 100 units plus, so they might be having more damage to the beta cells. So they may not go off the tablets also sometimes completely. Some of them go off tablets too, but they may not clear glucose tolerance test. So we are still to find people who are on insulin. Though one person came very close this time from Mumbai, Sanjeev Mauli, pretty close. Sanjeev, sorry, not Mauli. Sanjeev, his surname. We came pretty close to almost around 156 or 160 pp after 2 hours. But yeah, it is challenging to digest 15 spoons of sugar because our blood has only 1 teaspoon of sugar at any point of time. So handling 15 spoons is really tough. Now, when you're having more stress hormones, and if you're having, and some people are anxious by nature, they get up anxious, they're worried about the targets, they're worried about things, So they are working against more insulin resistance coming from these hormones, getting stuck again the same place over here. Okay. So that's again an important cause. Last but not the least, this is the latest what I've learned. So in case there's some of you who knew most of these causes, this is going to be absolutely brand new for you. For Rupa also, this may be brand new, and for everyone across the world, it may be brand new. Let's understand this cause really well. So let's read what's written first. What's written is lack of exposure to nature creating behavioral deficiencies. Okay, behavioral deficiencies. Now, let's connect with our life the way it was just maybe 50 years back. Okay, I'm not going very far into Stone Age, but just 50 years back. 50 years back, we didn't have so many vehicles or so much of onslaught of beautiful programs on the TV or internet or mobile phones and stuff like that. So we all know that we were more in touch with nature. We knew change of seasons by direct contact. We were in touch with summer and winter and rain much more than we are now. Some of us were more in touch with animals, also a little bit more. Okay, and if you go a little bit even before that, okay, uh, a human being had much more interactions with nature, uh, with respect to change of seasons, with respect to animals, with respect to day and night, with respect to, simply like rubbing your skin against a tree if you're walking, sometimes, or what that would do, interestingly, the moment your skin would rub against a tree or there would be a scratch. Now we don't get scratches on our body. It's a pretty sad thing. We're not getting scratches. We don't sit on the floor. We don't have any tough things hitting our skin. Whenever tough things or scratches would happen to us, the white blood cells would rush the skin away from the blood to get things in place. Okay. Now there is no need. We are sitting on soft cushions. We are eating food before we are hungry, and we are moving around in AC. So there's no real rubbing of tough things on our skin. What's that doing is that's creating more inflammation, because all the white blood cells are sitting idle. They're waiting for an infection to come to do something. Otherwise, they're having no real work during the day, and they're building up and piling up and creating more inflammation inside the arteries. Interesting, very interesting. This particular point which I'm elaborating is from a phenomenal scientist. His name is Dr. Milind Vatwe. I repeat, his name is Dr. Milind Vatwe, and he's the director of Indian Institute of Science, Education, and Research. It's a nodal body across the country, and there's some phenomenal, seminal work. What he's found is, and he describes it beautifully, he says something called as aggressive actions. Aggressive actions. And what he says is, aggression doesn't mean in this context with respect to anger or violence. He's not talking of anger or violence. He's saying simple aggressive actions like, like pushing, pulling, let's say grabbing, dodging, let's say hitting, let's say running, let's say holding, climbing, so many simple actions we used to do earlier. There could be in context of nature, of animals, or whatever. So now we are not doing any kind of aggressive physical activity. We don't hit nails. We're not digging the ground. We are not chasing anything. We are not getting chased by anything. We're not running around. Nothing. It's such a boring life behaviorally. We had so much more of reflexes coming up. We had so much more of unpredictability coming up earlier. And that we are missing out big time. And because we are missing out big time, our insulin resistance is increasing. And the beauty of his research is he's found out 70 signal molecules. And it's extensive research. 70 signal molecules. Let's say you're playing a game of sport. Let's say you're playing, let's say badminton with a colleague, okay? And you want to win. You don't lose. You're playing table tennis. You want to win. You don't want to lose. And there are reflexes. There's jumping. There's chasing. There's dodging. There is hitting. There is smashing. There's so much of activity involved. Aggressive actions are involved in badminton or table tennis. Any kind of sports you take, football, cricket, okay, hockey, any kind of basketball. You take any sport, there's a lot of aggressive action that goes into it, okay? You're not talking of anger or violence. It's simple aggressive action. Now, these aggressive actions create different hormones, different chemicals, different enzymes, different things. Let's say serotonin, dopamine, all these kind of hormones which get generated, they cannot get generated unless and until you put yourself in those kind of behaviors, those kind of situations, okay? The whole feeling of happiness, excitement, and joy, that happens in a context with, somebody, something, some activity. And when you start doing that, you generate those chemicals inside you, and those 70 signal molecules are really going dry in our body. So we are having behavioral deficiencies. So he goes on to say, there are so many populations, so many tribes where they don't know what is American Diabetic Association's diet. They don't know Indian Diabetic Association's diet. They don't follow any heart diet, any cancer diet. They don't follow any diet. But still, they are free. And they are free because they're aligning with nature and generating certain chemicals inside their body, which are signal molecules. So this doesn't mean that we should go in an aggressive way, killing animals and eating non-veg food, because that itself is going to create a lot of harm in our system. So it doesn't say that because they are eating non-veg, they are free. And sometimes we say that, sometimes the hardcore non-vegetarians, they come and they start fighting with us. Recently, I got to meet somebody who stays near Kolkata, and he says that there's a community in Bihar. There's a whole community where there is a celebration when they turn the age 50. There's a proper function, and after that, they can't take animal-based food. They stop it. Okay, and that community lives long, very, very long, and they don't die of the usual diseases which Calcuttans die of. In Kolkata, they tend to eat more of non-veg and dairy and rasagullas and stuff like that. And they die early with more obesity, more heart disease, more cancer and stuff like that. So good activity is going to protect you in case if you are doing some wrong habits on diet. But let that not become an excuse for you to do the wrong things. But let's do all the right things. So let's say if you attack all the 8 points, okay, you reduce the fat by reducing the oil. We don't say no to oil, we say reduce the oil. Don't stop it. Some advocates go for zero oil, but we don't go for zero oil. But you reduce the oil, a lot of fat is again going to come from animal products. So animal products are basically acid, fat, and protein. So you reduce that, reduce the acid, IGF, increase the micronutrients. So you start with the smoothie, make your breakfast full of sprouts, chutneys, dal-based breakfast, because grains are more on sugar and dals are 60% sugar. Grains are 90% sugar, dals are 60% sugar. So if you have a besan chila, moong dal chila, dosa, appe, dhokla, all this kind of stuff, or in Maharashtra it's called thali peet. Okay, if you make it from dals, that's great because then that has less sugar. So go for a breakfast which is less sugar. Sprouts, dal-based green chutneys. When you're having a lunch and dinner, try to have equal quantities of grains, dal, sabzi, and salad. So let's say if you're having one fulka, have one grain, one katuri dal, one katuri sabzi, one katuri salad. That's how you do it for dinner also. So if you want to have rice, you can have rice. You can have brown rice, unpolished rice. So one katuri rice, dal, sabzi, salad. Okay. You can explore millets. You can explore jawar, bajra, all kinds of stuff. There's lots to learn in it. One has to avoid watermelon, pineapple, jackfruit, ragi, natsni. All of these are high glycemic index foods. So all these things we cover in the advanced programs if you want to learn. And it's simple, it's there, available on internet also. But today being a basic call and a basic orientation in 1.5 hours, yeah, we're reaching 6 minutes to closure. I thought I'll just share with you some basics. So, and in terms of exercise, try and see if you can get into some sports. If you get into a sporty activity, then that really help. Like Dr. Vatve has devised these crazy balls. Play with crazy balls, cut them and play with them, and stuff like that. Okay. Let me show you the slide which is covering the diet chart, so that you at least have an understanding of that. Okay. Yeah. Little bit of research. This is the kind of researches we have now going on. Every batch we are seeing hundreds of units of insulin going away. Okay, dozens of people getting free. Hundreds of people going off tablets. Okay, and this is a diet chart which I was just talking about. So go for the smoothie, dal-based breakfast, 1 grain meal. Don't have 2 grains at one time. Okay, and try and finish your dinner before 9. sleep before 11, and engage yourself into resistance band, TheraBand, climbing of stairs. There are a lot of videos of mine on YouTube in terms of acupressure tapping and stuff like that. If any of you are in Mumbai and yeah, want to learn more, I'm going to be in Mumbai on 25th and 26th of November, Matumba, Thanyavashi and all that for programs. So if you want to learn practically some of the things, you can come and learn. I want to share with you 4 secrets as we come towards the end part. Most of you don't have less insulin, you have more insulin. So don't worry about insulin, okay? It's a resistance you need to work on. So work on reducing the insulin resistance, work on the inflammation, reduce the inflammation. Don't blame your genes because genes can switch on, switch off. Both ways they work with your diet, lifestyle. And take help of support. Be with people who are free, be with mentors who are free, with doctors who are free, who can support you psychologically, medically, nutrition wise, cooking. We got very nice cooking experts. So just yesterday we had NDTV covering our cooking class in Mumbai. It's going to be beamed nationally in a short while before the World Diabetes Day. So there's cooking class happening in Mumbai, Pune. So get into support mechanism, okay, whereby you understand the whole science experientially. You get supported to reduce your medicine, your insulin systematically. You enjoy the diet in a manner which is relevant for you. And we offer 2 modes of support besides the basic programs and foundation programs. One is an intensive program whereby there's a comprehensive support for 1 year, which is medical, diet, exercise, emotion, and spiritual in nature. Creates lifelong change, and most of the people who pass GT are from this. And the benefits go beyond weight loss into BP, thyroid. Many of them run marathons now. We've got a beautiful lady, Vasudha. She was on 64 units of insulin for so many years, almost 14, 15 years. She went off insulin, off tablets, depression, skin problem, neuralgias, thyroid, BP, everything gone. She's run a 5-kilometer marathon. She's happy now. So we train people for marathons for clearing glucose tolerance tests and stuff like that. So that's one option called the intensive program. And second big offering we have is a residential program, which is for 7 to 8 days. Every month we do it at Hidden Oasis. Every month it happens, and we've done 25 batches of the residential program. 26 is going on right now, and we've done 37 batches of the intensive program. Okay, and we have a free program coming up called Muktotsam on 12th of November, and all of you are invited for this. This is a big program, okay, where people who are free, they are felicitated with a medal, and we also do a lot of we'll look at type 1 and type 2. I'll just take the questions in a while. Let me just complete. So there's going to be a Mukti Anubhav on 12th of November, 45 minutes, a deep experience, which is yogic, give you a experience of all 5 koshas. We have Dr. H.R. Nagendraji, the yoga guru of our dear Prime Minister, Modi ji, coming over, and Padma Bhushan, Dr. B.M. Hegedeji is a WhatsApp sensation. Does amazing talks. He's coming over from Bangalore. Both of them are coming to understand how come such phenomenal results are happening over here. How come people are becoming free of diabetes and clearing glucose tolerance tests. They are going to be there on this day. There are going to be power talks and felicitation Mukti Anubhav. So you are most welcome. And if you want to have more information, there are manuals, there's recipe book, there's freedom book. You can order them online. And we are based out of Pune. I'll take question answers in a while. We are based out of Pune of Prabhat Road, and our contact number is 77760. Very simple, 77760. And our website is freedomfromdiabetes.org. Okay, and the YouTube channel is full of videos. Facebook is very, very vibrant, so you can join our Facebook page, the Freedom from Diabetes. You can join the group. It has more than 25,000 and 11,000 people, and you can join and be in touch. Okay. Yeah, your feedback will be important and your questions will be important. So I just, let me continue to share the screen. Sorry. Some of you wanted the screen, so I'm keeping it alive. We have almost hit 5:30. So can you just go to the previous slide for a second, just for a second, please? Yeah, which slide? So this one. This is the slide for
No, the previous you wanted, I think. There were
the
four
eight
steps.
the eight reasons.
No, the four steps.
Okay, the four secrets. Okay, the four secrets. The four secrets. Yeah, the four secrets for getting rid of diabetes: reduce the resistance, para-inflammations. Genes are not dictatorial in nature. You can work with them and take support. Medical, diet, exercise. Be in touch with the masters. Be in touch with the best guys. Okay, to reverse and work in a holistic way. Go for a whole food, plant-based diet. Be a vegan for minimum, let's say, a month's time. Give yourself a chance to 3 months time. Okay, you'll experience the changes. Okay, you'll understand what ahimsa means deep within you, and then you've got your own choice to be done, each one to oneself. Okay, yeah. So, and type 1 is a question. Yeah, do any of the 8 factors have role in causing type 1? Yeah, look, fat is not such a big cause for type 1, but let's say acid inflammation is, IGF is definitely one for type 1. In fact, milk is the biggest contributory cause of type 1 diabetes. Early stoppage of mother's milk and starting of cow's milk or powdered milk itself can trigger antibody reaction and type 1 diabetes. Lack of micronutrition again will add to slow glucose conversion, and stagnated lymph, wrong exercises, stress, all of it is relevant. So most of the factors are relevant for type 1 also, but of course type 1 are not going to get free as soon as type 2, or in fact they may never get free of insulin. They might reduce the insulin dose. Okay. What's our success in curing type 1? Look, cure for type 1, just forget it. Very difficult to even use the word cure for type 1, but we've got phenomenal results in reduction of doses. Between 20% to 80% reduction of insulin doses have happened, improvement in glycemic control, delaying of complications happened. There are a few type 1s who were with better C-peptide levels who are off insulin, but we are still keeping it under investigation, not publicizing them. In fact, they are young. They don't want to publicize their names also, but there are just 3 of them. But most of the type 1s can never get rid of insulin. But they can reduce it. If the C-peptide is good, more than 0.3, the results are phenomenal. Phenomenal, okay? Many of the type 1s are also 1.5s, and many of the type 2s are also type 3. So there's a lot of knowledge we've gathered over a period of time. So if you need any help, please contact the phone number 77760 or drop in a mail to us on info@freedomfromdiabetes.org. And yeah, can you show the slide of the sample meals of the daily, please? Yes, I can just do that one more time. Yes, so here's the slide of the daily meal broad plan. Okay. So I can't see the Facebook Live questions. I would have loved to interact with the Facebook Live people also. Anyways, if Rupa, there are any relevant questions on Facebook which you want to post
Yeah.
here, I can just take them up.
Yeah, I can check it out. Before that, I wanted to tell everyone that we have this webinar as a part of Ahimsa festival that we have organized in Mumbai. It's an 18-day program. And this is our brochure. You can download our brochure from our website, ahimsafest.org. And this today is only 6th day of our program. So more days to go. We have 70 plus more events to go. And then on 12th November, again, we also have our Ahimsa Mela in Mumbai at Khar. So I invite everyone to have a look at our website, theahimsafest.org. Have a look at all other webinars that are coming up. Lots of other events in Mumbai city, cooking
Yes.
demos, cycling, trekking, all sorts of interesting things. So come and register. And most important part of this whole festival is that all events are totally free. So,
My,
and
my,
we are celebrating truly Ahimsa in our life.
sure. I want a big namaste and a salute and a big bow to all the Ahimsa Fest coordinators, doctors. Amazing 70 events, 18 days. It's just stupendous. I mean, our country just needs it. And I'm so happy that you've invited me to contribute in a small way to this particular, what do you say, yeah, event. So thank you very much. Is ketogenic diet compatible FFD? Uh, Look, the typical ketogenic diet is full of animal protein and fat, which is not really recommended. Yeah, so go for a balanced diet around, let's say, 60 to 70% carbohydrates, 20% protein, and around 20% fat, and that works quite well. Somebody wants to see the exercise slides. So, exercise slides are lymphatic energy based, energy shake, acupressure tapping, skipping, and all that, swinging, anti-gravity, weight training, exercise slides. So, exercise slides are lymphatic energy based, energy shake. Oh, why is it repeating? And all that, swinging. Gravity. Rupa, I am hearing myself. Have you on the Facebook channel? Yeah, so here are some of the slides, okay? So, Rupa, let's take a call. Do we continue or do we stop? I think we overshot the time. Okay.
There are some questions on Facebook. I'll just tell you in a minute.
Yeah, sure. But how will they hear me? Okay, they are hearing me already. Okay. This is so much fun. This is so much fun. And it's so convenient. I mean, you don't have to travel and sitting wherever you are, we are together. Not only through the eyes, but through the heart. And it's the power. I really love this. Anybody in the office, Wasim, Dr. Ritu, if you have any questions on Facebook that you can see, Jyoti, if you can just send it across to me, I would love to take on those questions and finish it off so that those who are asking questions do get some feedback. Okay, that they're looking for.
They are asking if you have any programs in December.
Yeah, we're having this programs in December in Pune on 9th and 10th of December. Big foundation programs coming up, 4.5 with full shaking, tapping, meditation, with food, transformation, total transformation. And residential programs are happening, I think, end November, mid-December. You can go to the website, freedomfromdiabetes.org. Cooking classes are happening. So programs keep happening. So you can look up the website and find them out.
Or say someone is asking, Anita Chopra, she's asking that I find that with no grains, my blood sugar has come down. But if I grains, my blood sugar goes up and then I need to take medication.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically you reached a stage which is still, let's say, not fully pakka. It's not, your pancreas haven't become strong enough to secrete that much of insulin. So you keep going that track for a while, and let's say reintroduce it after maybe a month's time. But going grain-free continuously for month on month is not really recommended. Maybe some more changes need to be done in your exercise routine or overall diet, exercise, stress plan. In fact, for all the past participants, when you were there, maybe if Anita is the one who's attended the earlier program, the residential program wasn't in place. So that's a very, very powerful offering. It's really been transforming people in 7 days, 8 days. So do go in for that. In case if you're still stuck up after doing the foundation or intensive, you're still stuck up, go for the residential. It would create some breakthroughs for you, which you haven't experienced otherwise, because so much more we are learning, so much more we are applying every few months something new is getting introduced. So take help of Freedom from Diabetes. Even if you've been a part of the earlier programs, we are not a static organization, we are a dynamic organization, continuously evolving. So take help of that. Yeah, any other questions?
You can see some more questions.
Yeah, I can see some more questions coming up here. Doctor, my daughter has type 1. We are following low-fat, plant-based whole diet. Her C-peptide has increased from 0.21 in Jan to 0.77 in October. Oh, wow, this is great. But please do her C-peptide fasting and PP both. You can get in touch with us. You call up the number 77760. We will be giving you We will be giving you, what do you say, a full list of 14 tests, get them done, and then we can do a consultation for you. Somebody else asked, even after almost 1.5 years, my Dawn's phenomenon is still there. How do I get free from it? Yeah, Dawn's phenomena can be really very traumatic for people. We have devised a 9-point strategy for the Dawn's phenomena, which has been working for some people, not for so many. Drop in a message at 77760 that please give me the 9-point strategy for Dawn's phenomena. I will get them texted across to you. Do you recommend an all fruit breakfast? All fruit breakfast, I don't recommend for everyone as a blanket one, because I've seen some of them, those who went for all fruit breakfast and they were not toughened enough, they're having major problems now. So it cannot be a blanket strategy for everyone. It can be experimented with certain diabetics once they've reached a certain stage of reversal. Okay, Padani, so nice to have you connect after so many years. Keep up the good work. Thanks for the motivation. Cooked breakfast makes me drowsy. So you can have a sprout plus fruit kind of a breakfast. You can have an uncooked breakfast. That's fine. That's okay, Geeta. You can try that out. Any more questions, Rupa, from Facebook?
No,
Wasim, Dr. Ritu, anyone, any more questions? I love questions. Questions take the learning deeper. So are we done then?
yeah, looks like we are done today. It was very nice listening to you.
Yeah, it was nice of you to arrange this. And once again, may I be free, may you be free, may we all be free, and we really work towards big freedom for everyone. And may the Ahimsa Fest catch great momentum and really contribute to lakhs and lakhs of people becoming free. Thank you very much, and all the best to everyone. Do remain in touch till you become free, and even after you're free.
We
Thank you.
have recorded this whole webinar, and in some time we will be able to upload it on YouTube on Ahimsa channel.
Thank you.
So it will be there permanent for everyone to see.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.